Hello there, welcome back to the channel, and we are going back into the mirror universe, the dark reflection of the Federation, to sniff out, I'm so sorry, our character for today, and its kind of mirror universe counterpart, and that would be the mirror universe version of Archer's beloved dog, Porthos. Right, so to begin, Porthos in the Prime universe is a beagle. He's male, he originates from Earth, and he is the prize pet of one Captain Jonathan Archer of the Enterprise, NX-01. One of the first times we really see a captain's pet come out into deep space with them, although it's not exactly unheard of within Starfleet. It's more something you would see on civilian vessels, but he didn't want to leave his beloved dog behind, so he took it with him. In the Mirror universe, however, Porthos is a much larger, more aggressive breed of dog. As it was also noted in the Mirror universe when someone mentions about some of the crew of the USS Defiant they encounter having bite marks on them, that they say maybe it was the captain's pet, and Phlox goes, unless the captain's pet was a velociraptor, we're looking at something much bigger than your average, say, Rottweiler, which the Mirror universe version of Porthos was. He was a Rottweiler. And we do see him lied in the corner of Commander Jonathan Archer's quarters, should I say. And when Travis Mayweather comes in, Porthos' reaction is one of instinctual guarding. He gets up, growls, and Archer tells him to basically pay no attention to him. He's not been fed yet. We see him later get petted. Now, what happens to this dog is unclear in the story. However, it's most likely that poor Porthos died when the ISS Enterprise was destroyed by the Tholians while trapped inside the web and unable to disengage the cloaking device to actually maneuver and engage. Porthos likely wasn't evacuated with the rest of the crew. With Archer not there was no one who probably would go and get him. Maybe he was, but we don't see him again aboard the USS Defiant, and it's more than likely he was killed in that explosion. A very different fate to his Prime Universe version. But let's go on to that. First of all, let's clear up what is maybe a misconception here. This Porthos is not the Mirror Universe version of Captain Archer's Porthos. It is the Mirror Universe version of Captain Archer's pet. But it's not the same dog. Bear in mind, dogs don't name themselves. Its parents didn't call it Porthos. The dog being called Porthos is more a reflection on the similarities between Captain Archer and Commander Archer, probably having more in common than either one of them would probably like to admit. They both clearly liked the Three Musketeers, and they named their dog, at least one dog, after them. It's more likely that Commander Archer simply bought a more aggressive breed of dog he could use as a combat tool or as an intimidation tool while on operational duty within Starfleet, and he chose a Rottweiler as a larger, stronger breed. Captain Archer had a beagle. Nice and simple. There's nothing else more to it. That's not to say that Rottweilers are an inherently more aggressive dog. We actually don't know that there's any evidence that the Rottweiler dog breed of the Mirror Universe is any more aggressive than its Prime Universe counterparts. In fact, if we come out of universe for a second, if you listen to the audio commentaries on the DVD, the people behind the show actually mentioned that that dog that played the Mirror Universe Porthos was a lot friendlier and easier to get along with than the little beagle Porthos that was a little less pleasant, apparently, allegedly. Actors. But apparently that version was a lot nicer. So there's nothing to say that it definitely was, but that's a misconception. This is not that dog. Porthos, the beagle, may or may not even exist in the Mirror Universe, but if he does, he's not Archer's pet. He's got a different name and he belongs to somebody else. This version is more a reflection of Commander Archer's similarities to his Prime Universe counterpart and the naming conventions that go along with it. This isn't the first time that a slight inconsistency has existed between the two universes. Of course, we have to assume that there are many people that do not exist in both universes. Good examples of this would be Jake Sisko. Jake Sisko exists, of course, in the Prime Universe as the son of Captain Benjamin Sisko and Jennifer Sisko. Two characters that both exist and were married in the mirror universe as well, but were more estranged. Their love was not as true, and they never conceived a child. On purpose or by accident, as far as we know. Jennifer Sisko said that her and Ben never had a child, so Jake doesn't exist. Vic Fontaine would be another character that seemingly doesn't exist as a real person in the Prime universe, but does in the mirror. That is hypothetical because the physical characteristics of Vic Fontaine, the hologram, in the Prime universe could simply be based on the man. It's possible. But we never see that man, so there's a possibility. Let me know in the comments below whether you think he does or doesn't exist, actually, because I'm a little unsure on that one myself. It's implied that he's real in the mirror universe, but holographic in the Prime. But the Prime universe version could be simply based on the man. So there are inconsistencies. Sometimes people don't exist in both universes, because of course the two timelines, as we know, are diverging and they're becoming more and more separate. By the 32nd century, there's no more crossovers. The universes have become different enough that they're not close, interdimensionally speaking, so the crossover events aren't as easy to happen anymore. So, again, not really that version of Porthos. Apocrypha sources, of course, which we'll just quickly delve into. There's nothing canon, I should point out, as to what happens to Porthos, the mirror, the Rottweiler. Most likely, we can deduce that he died with the destruction of the Enterprise, but put that aside, in Apocrypha sources, he actually survived, and due to some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey problems, as well as some interdimensional travel again, an escape pod was found in orbit of Luna around Earth in the 24th century, I think, and on board the escape pod of an NX-class starship that was identified as the ISS Enterprise was Porthos, and he was then adopted by Reginald Barclay, which would imply that just because he's a mirror universe Terran dog, he's not irredeemable, that he was just a dog and could get along with someone as irritating as Barclay. So that was the mirror universe Porthos. Let me know in the comment section below which fate you actually believe is more likely. What do you think actually happened to the dog? Was he evacuated from the ship and we just didn't see him able to define? Did he die, or did he somehow end up in the Prime universe and was adopted by Reginald Barclay? With that said, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and bye-bye.